Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be replacing the axle seals on this 2004 Ford F-150. This is a two-wheel drive application, but same should apply to the four-wheel drive. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is jack it up in the air and put jack stands. You can put one here and one here. That way the vehicle is safely supported because you will be up under the vehicle. You want to chock your front tires. That way the vehicle doesn't roll because you're going to be putting this vehicle in neutral to do this repair. Next thing you're going to do is take your lug nuts off. They're going to be 21 millimeter on both sides. That way we can remove the tires. Alright, now that we have the tires off, what we're going to do is remove the brake calipers on both sides. To do that, you're going to remove both of these 10 millimeter bolts here, and that'll allow us to move the brake caliper assembly off. Then we're going to pull these rotors. You're going to do that on both sides. There's your 10 millimeter here and 10 millimeter here. Now that we have the bolts out, you can get a pry bar or a screwdriver. You can put inside here and then pry. And that's going to relieve some of the pressure on the brake caliper and allow you to remove it. Like so. Set it up out of the way. Ensure it doesn't fall because you don't want it hanging by the brake hose. Now we're able to remove our rear drum and rotor assembly. Now with the rotors off, you can clearly see this is the side that was leaking. Our seal that we're going to replace is right here behind this axle. We're going to be doing both sides. Even though that it doesn't appear that this one has started leaking yet, we're going to go ahead and do them both. So in order to get your axles out, you're going to want to take this differential cover off. So these are 13 millimeter bolts. Make sure you have a catch pan or a drain pan because the fluid's going to pour out of this rear diff. The next thing is to ensure that your drive shaft will rotate. You can do that by coming up here. And you can pop your shift linkage cable off from right here. Get a flat blade screwdriver up under there, and it'll pop this off. That way you can put this indicator into neutral so you can roll the drive shaft, because you'll have to do that once we get into this differential. Once we get the cover off, we'll have a pin in there that we'll have to unbolt and slide out to remove the axles. So let's get into that. Now we have our differential cover off. We have access to this pin here, and we went ahead and removed our drive shaft because we're going to be replacing the pinion seal as well. Again, make sure the vehicle is jacked up, put on jack stands, and that the front wheels are chocked before you put the vehicle in neutral to do this repair. So now that we got the drive shaft out, we can rotate our chunk here to the spot where we can see this bolt right here. This bolt has got a pin, goes all the way through, and it holds this center pin here in place. That's the pin right there. This pin keeps the spider gears from dropping and going everywhere. So we need this pin out so we can push our axle shafts. That's the tip of the axle right there. Both sides, they have little C pins or clips that slide in when you push them. So what we're going to do, I'm going to rotate at a nice little pitch so we can slide that pin out without hitting the bottom lip of the differential. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, this is what the pin looks like. You can see this is the bolt with the extended little pin there. This is the main pin that came out of this hole right here. It's an alignment pin for the gears. We're going to put that in our magnet tray so we don't lose it. Now, do not rotate this chunk whatsoever with that main pin out. The reason being is you'll get those gears out of line and it'll be a pain to get back in. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a magnet and we're going to push in on the right axle. Move some more. To get this little C-clip out, retainer clip, whatever you want to call it. We're going to do the same on the driver's side axle. So all you're going to do is you push in on this assembly. It will allow you to get access to this clip. We do have a magnet tray that we're keeping up with all of our bolts and stuff in. Now that these clips are out, we're able to slide the axles out themselves. And all you're gonna do is just pull on it and she'll come right out. Now we have access to the seal here, so we're gonna pop that out and pop our new one in. Normally I would recommend replacing your bearing in the rear as well, but it's not a necessity. You do not have to do it. Just saves time down the road if it ever goes out and you'll have to do this process twice. Easiest way to pull these seals out is get you a long pry bar, go up under here, just pry down, and it'll pop the seals right out. We're gonna have to wait for the parts house to send us the right ones so we can reinstall, but that is how you get everything tore apart. Nobody ever watches the reinstall, so it'd be pointless to even record it. When you put your new seal up there, obviously you want to match it with your old seal to make sure it's the right one. You're just going to set it up there, get your block of wood, put across it like a 2x4, and then you'll just tap it in till it lays flush, and then just reinstall your axles. Your differential cover, you're going to clean up real good. This one, we're just going to run some RTV on it, around it, on the cover as well. Then we're going to snug it up, let it cure for about 30 minutes, and then we'll tighten it back down to spec and top it off with fluid. Remember to put your pin back in and your bolt that holds your pin in, and tighten it up. These little C-clips can be a little bit of a pain. Just make sure your axle's pushed all the way in. You can drop it down, and then with the other hand pull it out or push on the axle out so it locks in, and then you'll be able to get your pin in and you're good to go. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.